Remember I told you all about a Lost THX text trailer with Craig Marifin segment series? Yeah, but however, I found it another lost segment. And it's still in my mind, but it won't leave me alone. But let me tell you how it all started. I was walking on a nice warm day, not too hot nor too cold. I then decided to go to the shop and get a DVD what might interest me. While I was looking at the DVDs, I found it a Craig Marifin segment series DVD. I was confused. Craig never makes his channel stuff on DVD, unlike his horror movies. Just then, I grabbed it and examined it. The cover depicted of Craig and Elmo at the front, with Freddy and Pac-Man and Wubbzy being behind them. The title was called The Craig Marifin Segment Series, Chocolate with Nuts and Other Stories. This DVD might interest me, because I am a big fan of Craig, I said. I looked at the back and see all the segments. Chocolate with Nuts, Meat Dancy Squeaky, Jolly's Missing Head, LP Shooter, and a never-before-seen segment, Revenge of the Louds. I was confused at what was Revenge of the Loud means, because I'm pretty sure it might be a rather strange segment for this series. But I ignored it. When I got to the cashier, he told me that it was $10. I gave him $10, and he said, "Thank you. Have a nice day, sir," he said to me. "You too," I said to the cashier. Once I put the groceries away, I actually thought of watching my new DVD I got. I then inserted the disc in, and then took me to the menu. The menu looked pretty interesting to look at. The menu depicted of the flat screen TV with the logo itself and the options. The options were play all segments, segment selection, audio options, visit Craig Marifan's YouTube channel, and extras. I also noticed that there were 4 characters in the menu. There were Craig, Miguel Esponja, Everest, and Riff. I clicked on play all segments so I could watch all the segments. I watched all the segments, and the last one, oh god, this is where things got horrifying. Just then, a message came up. The following segment you're about to see was scrapped and not meant to be viewed on YouTube. And this segment for the Craig Marifin segment series was the release is on Friday the 13th. And it contains material not suitable for your children. Watch at your own risk. What could be so bad about this never-before-seen segment? I said. Just then, it took me to a title card off the segment. And, oh boy, it doesn't look great to me. The title card and thumbnail was called Revenge of the Louds, like what it said on the back cover of the DVD. The thumbnail depicted of Craig, Muno, SpongeBob, Freddy, Chase, Pablo, and Wubbzy, who were looking around scared. On top were the Loud House family, Lincoln, Rory, Lenny, Luana, Len Loud Jr., Lucy Loud, and Lana Loud. I was confused, because Craig never liked the Loud House, and why did he make a segment of it? But anyways, I shrugged it off, and it faded to black as the segment then started. The segment started off with a shot of the Mushroom Kingdom. It was sunny, and in the background was the opening shot of the Teletubbies, like in every start of an episode. Just then, it then showed a shot of inside the Mushroom Kingdom, and there were 2 people that were sitting on the couch, which was Craig and Sky. They were just watching TV. Just then, Craig and Sky suddenly heard a knock on the door.
Huh? What was that?
Sky said. I don't know, Sky, but let me go check, Craig said. He then went to the door, and when he looked, it was Postman Pat. But however, he was terrified. Pat? Are you okay? Craig said.
It's a long story there, Craig. Here's your letter, and have a good day, I guess.
As Pat said that, he then drove away in his bright red van. Craig got confused, but forget about it. He then went back inside, and then went back with Sky.
So, Craig, what did Pat give you?
Sky said. Well, Sky, basically, Postman Pat gave me a letter, but for some reason he was looking terrified for some reason, Craig said.
But why?
Sky said as she was confused. No idea, but let me go see what this reads. He then opened it, and this is what it says. Dear Craig and his friends, we are coming for you to get our revenge for hating us. Muhahahaha. From question marks, Craig said as he read it. After when Craig got done reading it, Sky felt really scared. Craig saw Sky looking worried and tried to reassure her to calm her down. Don't worry, Sky. I'm pretty sure this is some kind of trick or something, Craig said.
Yeah, I guess you're right,
she said, trying to calm down. Just then, Tristan entered into the shot. Hey, Sky, I was actually wondering, how about we go to McDonald's for lunch? He said to her.
Oh yeah, sure, Chase, I would love that,
she said as she goes up to him. What about you, Craig? Are you going to come with us? Chase said. Nah, I'm fine. I'm just going to make a cheese sandwich for lunch, Craig said.
Oh, okay. Have fun then,
Sky said as Chase and Sky walks out. Just then, it then cut into black. Just then, it then showed a shot of the Loud House's house. Just then, it then showed Lincoln in the living room. However, he looked rather frustrated instead of being happy. Lenny then entered into the room and saw Lincoln, who was frustrated.
Hey, Lincoln, what's up? Why do you look upset today?
She said to Lincoln. Just then, Lincoln looked at her and started speaking.
Well, we've seen just getting fed up with Craig and his friends hating on our show for no goddamn reason. I'm just fed up with this crap right now,
he said in anger. Just then, Lenny then had an idea.
Really? I got it. How about we get revenge on them for hating on us? Cause if they want to hate us, then we can do it the bloody way,
she said. When Lincoln heard about the plan, he smiled in an evil grin. Just then, it cut into black. Just then, it then showed a shot of the racetrack. Just then, it then showed Rory driving around, doing some practice laps, as usual. Just then, while Rory was doing his practice laps, an evil laughter was heard. When Rory heard it, he stopped. He looked around, seeing who was laughing. Who's there? Rory said. Just then, he suddenly heard smashing noises and someone screaming. What?
who's there?
He said, started to get into a panic. Just then, someone came in. It was none other than Lincoln, but he looked rather different. His eyes were black, his pupils were red, he had blood all over him, and he has a shovel in his hand.
What? Lincoln? What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here,
Rory said.
Well, I don't care you've done restart. They just wanted it. I'm gonna dig up a grave. That one in grave will be you,
Lincoln said. As Rory heard what Lincoln said, his eyes widened in shock. Look at what he said.
What? But don't kill me. I'm just a race car,
he said. Just then, Lincoln then started walking over to Rory, as he then raised his hand up.
No, please don't kill me. No, no, no!
Just then, right before the shovel was about to make contact with Rory, it cut into black. I could hear Rory screaming and smashing effects was heard, and I also heard Lincoln laughing. Just then, it then showed a shot of Tristan in his room. He was taking a nap while snoozing. Just then, a lullaby tune of Rockabye Baby was playing in the background. But just then, the Rockabye Baby lullaby music box got interrupted with the sound of window breaking. Tristan heard it and woke up. Who on earth woke me from my nap? He said. Just then, Lily and Lucy then got into the window that was broken and entered into Tristan's room. What? Lucy? Lily? What are you both doing here? You both are not welcome here, he said in anger.
Oh, I know that, kiddo. But now, we're gonna suck your blood,
Lucy said. Just then, Tristan then ran to his door and tried to escape. But just then, Lily then crawled up to his leg and bit it. Tristan screamed in pain, but it wasn't comical. It was blood-curdling and agonizing. Just then, Lucy then came up to Tristan with a scythe and sliced his body. Tristan then fell onto the floor as he suddenly died. I was shocked. Why would they kill Tristan? He's too young to die, I said in confusion. Just then, and then showed a shot of SpongeBob cooking in the kitchen. He was cooking some Krabby Patties. Just then, when after SpongeBob was done cooking the Krabby Patty, he heard a sudden evil giggle. SpongeBob was confused and looked around.
Who's there? Who's giggling in here?
He said. Just then, he shrugged it off, and when he looked back, his spatula was missing. He was confused, but just then, he was looking around to find a spatula, but nowhere to be seen. Just then, the evil giggle was heard, and it was coming from Lenny Loud, who was behind him. She had a Terminator face, and she had a Terminator arm. SpongeBob looked behind him and saw Lenny Loud holding her spatula.
Lenny Loud, what the hell are you doing with my spatula? Give it back to me, otherwise I will call your parents to ground you.
He said in anger. Lenny then confused, but then she said something in a robotic voice.
Elementary Black Kettle, I do have a surprise for you.
Oh, really? A surprise? Oh boy, what is it?
SpongeBob said. Just then, Lenny Loud then grabbed SpongeBob and threw him onto the grill, as I could hear sizzling noises. As SpongeBob was getting sizzled, he screamed really loudly in pain as he was being injured. Just then, Lenny grabbed her spatula and stabbed SpongeBob in the eye as he screamed more loudly in pain. Just then, SpongeBob then suddenly fainted as he suddenly died as he lied on the grill. Just then, Rocky then entered into the shot and noticed that SpongeBob's dead corpse. SpongeBob! What the hell did you just do? Before Rocky would finish his sentence, Lucy Loud then grabbed Rocky and threw him to Lenny Loud. Just then, Lenny grabbed onto Rocky's mouth and rips off of his mouth. Rocky screamed in pain as his voice actor was his actual pain. Just then, Lucy then grabbed Rocky by the neck and slices his head off as Rocky died. And then it showed a compilation of the Loud House siblings killing the other characters, like Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Maxie, Cece, Tin Top, Drifter, the Teletubbies, the FNAF gang, and then the others. Just then, it then showed a shot of McDonald's outside. At that moment, Sky and Chase then walked out after when they had their lunch.
That was some nice lunch, wasn't it, Chase?
Sky said to her husband. Yeah, it sure is there, Sky, Chase said happily. Sky then giggled. Just then, Len Loud Sr., the father of the Loud House, came into the shot, looking in a panic. Are you two Chase and Sky? He said. Yeah? Why's that? Chase said in confusion. Well, I thought to tell you. Before Len Loud Sr. would finish his sentence, a shotgun then suddenly shot through his head. Chase and Sky gasped as they saw what happened as he falls to the floor. Just then, Lincoln and her sisters were there, as Lincoln was the one who shot at him. What? The Loud House? What are you all doing here? Chase said in anger. Lincoln then explained why did him and his sisters went on a rampage to kill all of his friends, including his mom and dad. Sky then said in anger,
Well, the reason why we hate you is because your show sucks, and it's overrated, and nobody likes you!
She yelled out. Lily Loud felt offended as she was filling up with tears and she started crying. Lincoln saw Lily crying and got really mad. Just then, Lincoln then pulled out a gun and shot Sky by the eye. She fell down on the floor as she was screaming in pain. The Loud House siblings laughed of what Lincoln did. Sky! Chase cried in horror. You psychotic idiots! I'm gonna kill you for that! he said. Oh God, I've never seen Chase this mad before, I said. Just then, Chase then started to go after the Loud House siblings and tried to kill them. Just then, Lily Loud then went on to Chase's back and bites him by the neck. He screamed in pain as it wasn't even comical because it was blood-curdling and agonizing. Just then, Rory Loud then went up to Chase with an axe and stabs it through his head as Chase collapses on the floor. Sky got up, still as her eye was missing. She then saw Chase's dead corpse.
Chase!
Sky cried in horror.
Why would you guys do this to my husband?
She cried out. Rory then said,
Oh, don't worry. Your husband is in a better place. Now you're gonna die next.
Rory said. Just then, the Loud House siblings then went after Sky. Sky then barked and yelled out her wings to fly off. Just then, Lincoln then pulled out a sniper and shot at one of the wings, causing her to crash. She landed onto a hard place as she had a broken leg, meaning that she can't move. Just then, the Loud House siblings then gathered around in a circle as they walk over to Sky. Right before they were about to make contact with her, it then cut it to black. I could hear Sky's blood-curdling scream as she was being mauled by the Loud House siblings. Just then, it then went back. But however, it showed the Mushroom Kingdom. However, it was on fire. I was shocked about what I saw. Just then, Lincoln Loud then came on screen as he was holding Craig's head. And just then, Lincoln Loud then spoke in a demonic voice.
You all see what I mean, everyone? This is why Craig should pay more attention to me more often than less attention to his friends. And this is what happens if you all hate me for good. Now be warned, if you ever hate me or like this pathetic Mario recolor wannabe, then you're gonna be killed next by my siblings. Sayonara.
As Lincoln then said that, he then threw Craig's head into the fire as he walked off screen. Just then, it then faded to black. I was traumatized about what I saw, but I thought the DVD was over. But however, I was embracing myself for a jump scare. But however, there was a jump scare. It was a close-up shot of Sky screaming from the episode Pup Save the Truth from Paw Patrol. Only the picture was edited. Her eyes were missing, she had creepy pupils, she was crying blood was drooling from her mouth, and in the background I could hear Sky scream from Craig Mariefin in the Castle of Illusion, and when she got crushed by the boulder by Morton, and also the Howie/Gut Trenches scream. As that happened, the picture started to go into static. Just then, it then cut it away, and then static then appeared and faded away. It then took me back to the menu. I was so scared and traumatized of what I just saw. I can't believe that the Loud House siblings killed Craig and his friends. I was about to put it in the trash until I had an idea. I recorded the footage and screenshotted some of the footages, just for proof. When I uploaded on YouTube, I had a lot of views, a lot of likes, and a lot of comments. Just then, one of the comments came from Craig, and this is what he said. What? You found a lost segment based around the Loud House? Wow, dude. Thank you. I actually appreciate it. I'm going to share this video right now and let everyone know. They're going to be so shocked that you found it. But although, good job. I was proud of myself, and I then put the DVD in the bin. I had nightmares about 5 days about Lincoln and his sisters killing me. What will you ever see in a never-before-seen DVD? Well, you may never know. But however, you better be careful at your own risk. Because if you don't, you're gonna have nightmares like what I am having now.